Oh, you know what I did not get a chance to watch? I would be doing a live reaction video. Would be the Trump Hannity. Would be the Trump Hannity interview. Oh yeah. This is important. This is super important, guys. This is the former president of the United States. Show your respect. Show your respect for Trump, for our former president. I remember that was like the Trumper, like that was the pro-Trump position at the beginning of his presidency, was you got to respect the office. You got to respect the office. Oh boy.
My exclusive interview with the 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump. I want to know this question. What are your plans to help for 2022? We talked about the House and the states. Are you thinking about running again in 2024? And if so, where are you in that process?
We are going to help with the House. I think.
Oh my God, he just out the gate. Sleepy Trump, Sleepy Donald. We're gonna be. I'm gonna be.
Where are you?
We are going to help with the House. I think we have a really good chance. I'm working with everybody, including Kevin McCarthy, on taking back the House.
Low energy Trump. I like you, Donald. He's a very nice guy, but you're low energy. You're low energy.
I think we have a really good chance on doing it. Likewise, the Senate's going to be a little bit tougher, but the Senate. So I told you that.
The Senate is a tougher. You know, it's a whole other place, Sean. You know, it's a whole other place, Shawnee. The Senate, it's another thing. They're both Congress. I learned that. I learned this in the White House. They're both Congress, but the Senate is different. The Senate's different from the House. The House is every 2 years, but the Senate's only some of them every 2 years, but only some. They're different.
At least 8 senators would have lost their race. I could name them, but I don't want to embarrass them. But that includes Mitch, who was heading south. He called me up. He said, I need your help.
But I don't like Mitch. He wasn't very nice to me when I tried to subvert democracy. He wasn't very nice to me about it. He didn't help me out. He said mean things about me during the impeachment. You remember that? The impeachment? The sham impeachment?
And I'm very popular in Kentucky. I love Kentucky. And they love me. And I helped him. And he won by the most he's ever won by. So we are going to help with the Senate. And I think we have a good chance at.
Marco Rubio. I hear Herschel's name mentioned a lot in Georgia. I hear Laura Trump's name mentioned a lot in North Carolina.
Yeah, you know. Who? Oh, yeah, she's my daughter. Who? Like, look, he kind of like his own daughter. Let's see that again.
I hear Laura Trump's name mentioned a lot in North Carolina.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, she's not that great. She's really not that great. Trust me, Sean. I know her. She's not that great. She's not that great.
Hampshire. I think he could win that race.
I think so too.
Ron Johnson in Wisconsin.
Ron Johnson's a great.
He's been a great senator.
He is a great. He is much more popular than anybody understands.
We don't know who's going to run in Ohio, but these are all.
We have some good candidates in Ohio.
So
I think we have a real chance at the Senate. I think we have a really, really good chance.
Well, tell me how far are you willing to go? Are you going to travel? Are you going to do speeches? Are you going to do rallies for these candidates?
If they need a rally, we'll do a rally. We'll do calls. We'll do all sorts of things. No, we're all in. Alabama is going to be a tremendous win with Mo Brooks. We have a tremendous look. Almost everybody I endorse wins. We had a House seat in Louisiana, a wonderful woman, just happened. Her husband died of COVID. He was Congressman-elect. Yeah. And she is, Julia, she was fantastic. But a lot of people thought she might not get in the runoff. I endorsed her.
Student, you guys are having a discussion about the Senate and gerrymandering. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the gerrymandering began in the formation of the Constitution. We're going to let states with hardly any fucking people have the same representation. And we're going to have that institution be the deciding institution, like what gets to the desk of the executive, right? I mean, that's what you should be worried about. And, I mean, fuck it. Yeah, go. Even if it is a shameless power grab, fucking go for it. Fuck it. I mean, why? Yeah. I mean, DC should be a state. The last state that was entered into the Union was Hawaii. It was by a Republican. The guy fucking, went out to Polynesia to start a state. Puerto Rico isn't a state, All right, sorry.
65% of the vote. There was no runoff. It's very important that we get the right people. And that means in the Senate, it means in the House, and it also means in governorships, because if you have a good governor.
And legislature, state legislatures.
Well, that's so important. You know, the legislatures have.
That's where they're going to fix the voting issues.
We've had a lot of great legislators. Unfortunately, the courts refuse.
You got legislators, you got legislators.
To listen, even though it's in the Constitution that they have to. The courts have been very, very
H.R. 1, I argue, usurps the constitutional authority of state legislatures. Now the big question. Two parts. What do you miss the most about being in the White House? And how seriously are you considering running again in 2024?
Introducing Dyson
ads. Damn it. Let's read some comments. How can you be more popular than anyone else? LOL. Admitting DC to the Union is gerrymandering the Senate too. Jason saying that. J. Andrew World. TMBS had the Griscom Economic Minute. Antonio. The Senate is basically one large gerrymandering. Yeah, that's what I was saying a second ago. He's so popular, he knows who he is. Antonio, Puerto Rico should be independent, not a state. Only ruling class there aspires to say pretty much. I say fucking let it be its own country. Whatever the people want. J. Andrew World, today they released a clip with my art on the TMBS channel. Cool. So let's hear more. Laura Trump, who? Oh, it's one of my kids, right?
People, because I can directly help people. That's why I did it. Look, this has been a very...
I'm a magnanimous guy, okay? I just want to help. That's what I do. I wake up, I go, how can I help the little guy? From my golden toilet when I can't tweet anymore. This is bad. Not good.
Traumatic. I had a great life, great company, great business.
I had a great life, and then I'm almost like doing the Krusty the Clown, like thing.
No problems, and now all I do is people go after you. It's vicious. It's horrible, but you know what? I love doing it because I help people, and I've helped them more than any president with the cutting of taxes.
I have so many bank accounts. You have no idea.
With the regulations, with right to try.
I can't even. With the tax cuts and the regulations, more than anybody.
But you know what? I love doing it because I help people. And I've helped them more than any president with the cutting of taxes, with the regulations, with right to try.
You're proud
you know
of
how
all
big right to try is?
Huge.
Where you don't have to travel to all sorts of different continents to try and get something. We have the greatest doctors in the world, greatest labs. We can use their medicines now. If somebody's terminally ill, they can sign a quick little document. You can use and that's how.
He doesn't even know what he's talking about.
A huge thing.
Literally like an aide handed to them. Remember you did that? Remember this happened? Yeah, right to try. Right, it's amazing. The medicines, it's amazing.
Most proud of though?
A lot of things. I'm very proud of the tax cuts. I hope that.
See, that's all they fucking have is tax cuts. This is why Glenn Greenwald saying this guy's a populist is a fucking joke. Okay, it's a joke. His one policy that he can name is tax cuts for the rich. You know, it's like, I don't like paying taxes, Sean. You know about when I opened Trump Tower and the taxes and what we did about the taxes. And, I just think it's really unfair that people like us, we get hurt so badly. They're so mean to us. They're so cruel because of the money. We just have money and we want the money.
They don't screw it up because the jobs, we brought back a record. I think so. We brought back a record. Well, it's still not going to be as high as it was. It was really 39%.
Right.
So it looks like it could be at 25%. I brought it down to 21. But yeah, I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of and very importantly, the regulation cuts. I'm very proud of what I.
Guys, he allowed poison back into water. Anything at the EPA. We have a national monument near here that he was trying to open to oil leasing, the Carrizo plane, that's what he means by regulations.
I did for the military. I've rebuilt the military, And I've added something called Space Force. It's going to be
Space
so powerful.
Force. It's going to be tremendous. We're going to have space militarism. Everybody loves space. There was a movie a long time ago. Everybody saw it. I kind of watched it. Me and Jeff Epstein went to see it, but we had other things on our mind, frankly. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Sean? And it was a movie about a space, and there was, there were these troopers, and they're all in white, and they all looked very good. But I thought, why not gold? Why weren't they in gold? And they had lasers and laser swords and I thought it looks beautiful. It looks great. You know what we need? We need that in space. What about a big star? What about a star? A big space station? We could have a big, beautiful space station with my name on it, and a laser. We could shoot other planets. If they were trying to, the shithole planets, we could shoot them. I thought it was a great idea in the movie, but really, they didn't give me the idea. But I thought it'd be great to have space military, space force, space empire, space troopers, space troopers, space force. Tremendous.
So important. So I've added another, think of it, I've added to the military. It hasn't happened since, I guess, 75 years since the Air Force.
And the economy pre-COVID.
Space Force.
Record low unemployment.
We had the greatest...
Hannity's feeding him. And the things before COVID, before you totally fucked up big time, bro. Like, remember there were jobs. People had remember when people had jobs until you fucked that up, and then they didn't. Like, the people had jobs.
Numbers therefore added to the military. Hasn't happened since,
it's incredible,
I guess, 75 years since the Air Force.
And the economy pre-COVID.
Space Force.
Record low unemployment.
We had the greatest...
Remember before you fucked everything up? Yeah, it was great. Well, yeah, before the thing that the hoax disease, it was great.
Numbers in the history of...
Goddamn ads. Damn it. I got to get that YouTube red. I will never hold out. What were we talking about earlier, Jason? We're just Uber drivers for YouTube. Ain't that the truth? But I ain't going to play an ad on YouTube while I'm here or demonetized on YouTube. That's like, this is like going through the wormhole there. Let's say
greatest economy in history, world.
Greatest economy, world, universe, galaxy, existence, this temporal plane, greatest economy ever.
Actually, guys, the economic report just came out that like the growth right now is greater than it was under Trump, and hasn't seen growth like that since like the 80s, since Reagan era.
We had the greatest economy. We had the greatest job numbers. We're up to 160 million people. We were never even close to that. And if you think of it,
million people. And if you think about it,
did it twice.
We did it twice.
Then the whole world went down. We've come back stronger than any other country in the world.
No, bro. No. How many people are dead in New Zealand?
They used to hit me with Germany and France and this and that. Well, they're doing terribly right now.
So there's a lot of different Trumps.
There's Rally Trump, and he's up here all the time. But I really kind of like this down here Trump. But I also like Sing Song Trump, where he's trying to say, that's not so bad. I'm not so bad, okay? It's not so bad.
They're all locked down. It's a disaster. They're having riots on their streets. This country is coming back strong, and it's very
riots on the streets, huh?
Interesting. Places like Florida and Texas.
So he just, in one breath, said that this country's coming back, and like, the deep like rat brain, the reptilian brain went like, don't give Joe Biden credit. Now I'm going to talk about Republican states.
Disaster. They're having riots on their streets. This country is coming back strong, and it's very interesting. Places like Florida and Texas and many others. I mean, I could name many others.
Republicans.
I think in almost all cases run by Republicans. I think in all cases.
You're right.
They've done so well.
They really have.
And you look, I saw the other day Michigan. I would say there's been nothing as close, other than for her husband, who was, had free run of the place.
I like... Trump is so free associative that he can't mention like Gretchen Whitmer, and you know what I mean, that she's the governor. Can't even say the word governor.
I don't think that there's been any state more locked up than Michigan.
Are you running again in 2024?
That was a cut. He probably just rambled for how much longer.
I like free association. And you see, when I was a child, Sean, I had a dream. I had a dream about a boat, about a sleigh. It was called Rosebud. And Rosebud, it was a beautiful sled. And I've never been happier than when I just rode on that sled with my mommy and daddy. He was there too. I can't remember what he was doing. He was wearing a white hood. But I was on the sled, Rosebud, that's what it was called. And we had a great time. We had a great, beautiful time.
So he's probably just went on and on about that.
Remember my father? He had a lot of hobbies. He was a woodworker, Sean. He liked to work with wood. He would make crosses. He was a very devout Christian. And he was so on fire for the Lord. That's what he said. We're on fire for the Lord. He'd set that cross on fire. He set it on fire, Sean. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. But
he went on and on like this, and so they just cut it.
State more locked up than Michigan.
Are you running again in 2024? What are the odds? If I were to
First
ask,
of all, it's a long time.
That's a long time. Remember, these were the longest 4 years we've ever had in America. My 4 years. It was a long 4 years. 2020 was a long year. Everyone knows. Everyone was there. Everyone saw, except all the people who died. Very sad. But they did, the flu kills a lot of people. Car accidents kill a lot of people. But, it was very sad. It was a long 4 years. So this 4 years, it's going to be very long. It's very long. I don't know. I don't know what could happen. It's so far in the future. 4 whole years.
The odds. What are the odds? Look.
the odds.
I got tremendous...
Yeah.
The odds haven't always been good. They're always great for me, but not my casino. For some reason, the house always wins, but not mine. So I don't like odds. I like my magical thinking, positive thinking, the power of positive thinking. Remember I said the virus, it would just go away. It'd just go poof, it could go away. And I think we're seeing that now. I think we're seeing it now. I can't think of any reason why the numbers would be going down right now if it weren't just going away like I said it would.
Numbers. Nobody's ever gotten the numbers I got. No sitting presidents come even close. There's more popularity now than there was the day before the election because they see how bad things are at the border.
He was a historically low in popularity president from candidacy to the moment he was in there. And Biden is like up there with the numbers. He's competing with the best of them.
See what's going on. They see that their guns are going to be gone. They're second.
Oh, the guns are going to be gone. Like you can't even. Oh man.
Their taxes are going up. Regulations are going through the roof. Jobs are going to go out. Well, you see, this is going to take a little while to show. But if they add all these regulations back, the jobs are going to be gone. Your energy independence is going to be gone. So I say this. I am looking at it very seriously, beyond seriously. From a legal standpoint, I don't want to really talk about it yet. It's a little too soon.
I am being investigated. We all know that. Many investigations, including of... oh, my God. I mean, they're investigating my inauguration committee. They're investigating my campaign. You've heard about that, I know. They're investigating my taxes, and, and Russia and all these things.
Run and did win. What would you do differently?
When I came in, we were hit with phony Russia investigations.
Yeah, there was a show back in the old days. It's called The Brady Bunch, and there was a girl, and she was treated very badly, very unfairly. Her name was Jan, and everybody, Jan was very popular, but everybody treated her very badly. And her Russia was Marsha, and she would talk about that Marsha, and that's why I said Russia.
It was a total phony deal.
That was 3 years of your presidency.
He pardoned his own guys. Manafort, the Senate confirmed that he was, fucking talking to Kalimnik on the regular, Konstantin Kalimnik, who's connected to Oleg Deripaska. Roger Stone, who helped on the Insurrection Day, was pardoned. Roger Stone was in contact with WikiLeaks the day the Grab 'em by the Pussy tape dropped, which the Podesta emails dropped within 30 minutes of the Grab 'em by the Pussy tape. You think that's a coincidence? And he's pardoning, Stone, Roger Stone.
I've been fighting off investigations for 5 years. I mean, really, since almost the day that we came down, and they were corrupt Democrat-inspired. I still have it. They were Democrat-inspired investigations. Russia.
I love it. It's an inspiration. Like everybody who hit the levers to investigate him were Republicans. Comey, Republican. Rod Rosenstein, a Republican. Robert Mueller, a Republican. They were inspired. Robert Mueller, he had a picture of Nancy Pelosi. He was writing poems about Nancy Pelosi. It was his inspiration, okay? Nancy Pelosi. Maxine Waters. They had water bottles in there that they wrote the word Maxine on because they had inspiration from Democrats. Inspiration.
Russia. I remember, Sean, and I don't have too much time, I guess, with you, but that's
one of my favorite Trump things, when he cocks his head to the side and he kind of goes forward and he talks. It's when he's very New York.
I remember, Sean, and I don't have too much time, I guess.
Too much time, you know what I'm saying?
With you, but a story, I think it's interesting. I haven't told it before.
I don't have too much time, Sean. You want to grab a slice? Oh, shoot. I just jumped ahead. Maybe if I just find the head tilt, I'll find it.
I remember, Sean, and I don't have too much time, I guess, with you, but a story, I think it's interesting. I haven't told it before. During the campaign in 2016, I'd be asked, like by one of our aides, "Sir, do you have anything to do with Russia?"
He's such a parody of him. He's such a self-parody. Like, you can't even.
Aides, "Sir, do you have anything to do with Russia?"
Russia.
I say no. That would be it.
No, I have nothing to do with Russia. No.
Then a month later, somebody would say, "What do you know about Russia?" I said, "No, what? I don't know what you're talking about."
I've never heard of it. Never been there. Yes, there was Trump Tower, Moscow. And we were going to give Putin a suite, but I never really heard of it. I didn't really know. Like, is it really a thing if you've been there? Well, I know I went there, and prostitutes and everything, and we had a great time. But does it really exist? If you can't remember it,
Then after 3 or 4 or 5 times, people would say, "Do you know anything about Russia?" I kept saying, "Huh." So after 3 or 4 times, I said, "What's going on with Russia?" They created a phony deal. It was paid for by Hillary.
That was really a thing. Like him, like
people ask me about Russia. I go, "Well, I don't know."
Hillary Clinton.
They made a phony Russian disinformation dossier.
Let me try to string a sentence together for you. Hold on, wait.
Whoa. And they used it to spy on you as a candidate, your transition.
Guys, the dossier, the Steele dossier, was given to the FBI by an aide of John McCain's. John McCain, a Republican.
We don't like John McCain. We didn't get along, John and I. I know he's dead and everything, but I piss on his grave, okay? He's the one.
Team, and while you were president, it says at the top of a FISA warrant, verified. It was unverifiable, and they knew it.
17 times.
They knew it right from the get-go. They knew it, they were warned beforehand, and they knew it certainly from Christopher Steele and the subsource.
How much you bet he's going to bring up Page and what's the guy?
The two lovers texting about me. They're going to stop me.
By January.
Was a total fraud.
Yeah.
And you know what it did? It hurt any possibility of dealing with Russia. We could have had a good look. They'll say, "Oh, he loves Russia." Getting along with Russia is a good thing, not a bad thing. Getting along with China is a good thing. The problem we had with China was COVID, because nobody ever took out so much money from China. If you look at China, I was taking tens of billions of dollars of tariffs from China, and our farmers were doing great. The reason they were doing great was because of the tariffs. I was able to sign a great deal for our farmers.
Oh my God! The farmers were going bankrupt and committing suicide because of his tariffs, and so he literally just threw billions in fucking corporate welfare to farmers. Like, he bailed out farmers from his own failed trade war. Like, ridiculous.
And it was still going so great that I had to give them billions of dollars of taxpayer money.
But getting along with these countries, getting along with Kim Jong-un of North Korea.
Little rocket man.
I came in, President Obama said it.
He was a rocket man, burning out his things out here alone,
And I think this is very public. The biggest problem we have is North Korea. There's going to be a war. There was no war. We got along great.
It was great.
He writes me that.
I did kill like an Iranian general there really quick, but like it was a goof. I hit the, I thought I was reaching for the Diet Coke button. I hit the other button. It's, it happens.
I like him. He likes me. There's nothing wrong with that. I got along great with President Putin. I liked him. He liked me.
He's a nice man. I like it when he's shirt off. Big, manly, strong, beefy man.
That's a good thing, not a bad thing. They made up this phony hoax just recently, which came out 2 days ago, that it was a total phony Russian.
It was a big
deal. No, but you know what?
It sounds like he almost like, ripped his sphincter there.
Russian. They made up this phony hoax just recently, which came out 2 days ago, that it was a total phony Russian.
It was a big deal in the campaign.
No, but you know what it does? It keeps you away from...
He can't, his attention is, he can't even really... like effectively bring up that the murder for hire, the bounties against U.S. troops in Afghanistan wasn't verified, and intelligence. This is why you don't take intelligence agencies at their word. That's why you go look at a exhaustive report like the Mueller report if you want to know what actually went down with the whole Trump Russia thing. You don't like the P-tape. You don't wait for the P-tape. That was silly. Anybody with half a brain wasn't doing that. Of course, Maddow and Hillary and all of them were. They thought, that P-tape could exist. It really could. But it's why you wait for the information, because you can't just take an intelligence agency at their word.
These countries from dealing economically, we could have made a lot of money. They have great natural resources.
China.
We could have made a lot of money and done well in jobs and everything else.
Jobs.
Getting along with Russia is a good thing. Getting along with these countries is a good thing, not a bad thing.
Okay, I guess there's more. I don't know why they have that exclusive one, but then they have another part of the interview.
It's going to talk about the border. This is very bad. It's very bad. Okay? You know what he really needs to do is close the border with China. Why does nobody ever talk about the border with China? Huh? That's what I want to know.
Oh my God. Hold on a second. I got to change this. Okay, just setting up a new headline because it's gotta be good, gotta be good here. That's not that good. Too many words. Oh well. Shawnee had a play date with a special friend. Hey, my friend came over to see me, and he's really popular, my friend, and we had a really good time.
Casting from the always beautiful Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida.
The beautiful Mar-a-Lago estate. We're here where I, Sean Hannity, the lifestyles of the rich and famous president, Donald Trump. He's a wonderful man. He let me smell his underwear drawer. A beautiful, tremendously gold underwear drawer where I sniffed the panties of the 45th President of the United States. A wonderful man who let me sniff the golden panties of him, the president, who was unfairly treated by the fake news media.
3 months removed from the Washington swamp. When Donald Trump talks, the world, the country listens.
Oh yes, oh God, yeah.
So tonight, for the hour, we welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump. Mr. President,
hey,
thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you very much, Sean.
All right, so I know a lot of people...
Well, thank you very much, Sean, for coming
thank you very much,
to
Sean.
my house, to my place, to listen to me.
I could almost combine Trump with Tony Soprano.
Listen, I'm very glad you came here, Sean. We got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about the fake news media. We got to talk about the border and Biden. Did you kiss my ring? You didn't kiss my fucking ring!
Right, so I know a lot of people that are around you every day. This is what they're all telling me. You are working as hard as you did when you were in the White House.
So hard.
Except you play a little golf more. That you're keeping an insane schedule, 7 days a week.
It's insane.
You really don't stop.
I don't.
Well, we're seeing a lot of people. We're seeing a lot of good Republicans and a lot of good Americans.
Well, we're seeing people, and a category of those people is Republicans, and Republicans fall under the larger umbrella category of Americans. So yes, we're seeing people.
Cases, great Americans, and we are working very hard, and a lot of things to do. Plus, I'm getting more involved for a long time, years. I wasn't involved in the business. I'm more involved in the business. We'll see what I do with respect to that. But
this is my humility when I pinch my eyes like this.
The business is doing well, and we're doing well. It's been 5.5 years of investigations and hoaxes, and I see something came out just yesterday.
Hoaxes, like I thought Russia was a hoax. Is COVID a hoax, or he's going to talk about the bounties?
The Russia was a total phony deal, and they hate.
So this is the funny thing is like the Russian bounty story that came way later. It was a whole other separate thing, and so it's all a wash now. It's all just Russia. So that's what they try to do. They try to create it. It's all just a wash. It's all the same thing.
I hate to admit it, but intelligence came out.
They were putting a bounty.
Yeah,
on
the bounty, the big bounty deal, and now they say that it was a hoax, just like everything else. So it's a sad thing. You get impeached for doing nothing wrong, then you get a second impeachment for doing nothing wrong.
You like the Godfather? I wasn't doing Godfather Trump.
Godfather Trump a bit more like this. Listen, it was phony. Russia. Well, you got to talk like this. How do you think for the Godfather? You never go against the family. Listen, Tony Jr., you never go against the family. But I was doing the Tony Soprano. Tony Soprano's a very hard voice to do. Tony Soprano's right over here.
Shit, it's hard to do. I lost it. Right? Got to do a little warm-ups.
Tony Soprano is over here. He's talking like this. It was fake. The whole Russia thing, it was not even a thing. It wasn't even a thing. It was a hoax. It was a hoax. So Russia was a hoax.
And so it's been pretty wild when you think about it, and very unfair. So we're working very hard. And
oh my God, they cut him again.
Wild when you think about it, and very unfair. So we're working very hard, and I think you're going to see something that.
What dumb shit did he say? That they cut.
Will start to take place in 22, and will culminate in 24, and you're going to see a lot of big things and great things for the Republican Party and for the country when you look at the border and all of the things that are going wrong right now. What a shame at the border.
Oh, Maron, what's going on out here at the border?
Let's start with Joe Biden. Now, I get criticized because the Joe Biden I see now, I can show you tapes of him in 2016. I could show you tapes of him in 2020.
They're leading with the dementia, folks. Leading with the dementia.
Well,
Sleepy Joe, so I call them that.
To me, he looks extraordinarily weak, frail.
I saw him fall downstairs. He's not the same.
He's very transparent. He's struggling cognitively. He usually averages less. We follow his schedule very closely. Less than one event a day. What do you see? How do you grade him 3 months in?
He doesn't even golf. I used to be able to golf 4 or 5 times a week. I was golfing. I could be all across that course. I could be up and down that course in my little buggy and my little golf cart. I call it a buggy. But, it's very sad. It's very sad. He barely even golfs. We have a president who can't golf. It's very sad. It's very sad. If he really cared about America, he'd be out there showing them what a good golfer he is. I was very good at that.
79 years old. That is not old. I know many people in their late 80s that are just as good as they were years ago. I spoke to one who's 92 years old. He said, I feel better than I did 20 years ago. 78, 79 is not old. But he, look, I don't think it's even appropriate for me to comment on that. It sort of speaks for itself. I mean, people can make their own determination. I know that if it were me, they would be up and down going crazy, right? But I had an instance where on a slippery ramp, piece of steel, very steep and very long, no railings, no nothing, and it was pouring at West Point. And the last thing I want to do is go down, because when Gerald Ford went down...
I know how to walk up and down stairs, people. I lived in skyscrapers most of my life. I can walk up and down the stairs, just no problem.
It was not good. Now, when Biden went down, the press didn't cover it. I mean,
you see, the press didn't cover it, even though everybody ever saw it. But they didn't cover it. How did they cover it? And yet everybody knows.
If you look at
well, in fairness, his aide said that the wind, it was very windy. The wind might have blown him over. Did the wind ever blow you over?
Well, Air Force One is a very big plane, and usually
very big, beautiful plane, beautiful plane.
What they try and do is shield the wind. You know, when they park it, you can turn it at angles, and so you don't ever have too much. I've never seen too much wind.
I learned a lot about how they parked the plane. It was very interesting to me. Wasn't so concerned with the science and the COVID and all that, but I learned about the plane. It was a big plane. So, you know, I'm one for a big truck or a choo-choo train, but I did like the plane too.
It can get a little windy, but not the kind of wind that blows you over. But if you look at mainstream media, or as you say, lamestream media,
that's a pretty good one, huh? Huh, Sean? You call it the lamestream media.
Didn't cover that. If that were a Republican, in particular, if it was me, that would be the biggest story for the rest of the year.
But let me...
Oh, my God. They always do that.
Let me ask the question from this perspective, because there are hostile regimes and many hostile actors on the world stage. You got a hostile regime in Russia, hostile actor Vladimir Putin, hostile regime in China, President Xi, you dealt with him a lot.
I know.
Kim Jong-un, the mullahs in Iran, looks like Joe's already capitulated on that. Now, you know them well enough. I'm sure they're studying Joe Biden. Knowing what you know, things that I wouldn't know, are you concerned about their perception of an American president that seems somewhat frail and weak?
Well, something's going on, because they never did this with me, that I can tell you. Nobody was tougher on Russia. And frankly, getting along with Vladimir Putin is a good thing. And I got along with him very well.
All right, it's all the same shit, guys. This is getting boring. Boring. I'm done. I'm putting a pin in it. Trump's boring. Who cares? Who cares?